Subscribe before reading, because once you start, you won't stop. 22 years. That's how long I built her empire. Brick by brick, night after sleepless night. While others came and went, I stayed. I wrote the code. I drew the blueprints. I ran the meetings no one else wanted to face. And when the storms came, and there were plenty, I held the walls up with my bare hands. And how did she thank me? With a smile, with a sheet of paper across the desk, with the words, "We're restructuring. We can hire 2 juniors for half your salary. It's not personal." It was personal. She just didn't know how much. When I first met Valerie, the company was nothing. A warehouse office with peeling paint, one used desk, and a coffee pot that sputtered more steam than liquid. She had charm, I'll give her that. Slick words, investor sparkle. She could sell the future to anyone in the room, but she couldn't build it, not without me. I was her first real engineer, the one who made the dream tangible. I stayed through the lean years, through the broken servers, the failed prototypes, the lawsuits we barely dodged. I pulled all-nighters while she toured conferences. I fixed fires that should have burned us to ash. She called me the brain. She called herself the voice. I thought it meant partnership. Turns out it meant I was an expensive tool, disposable the moment the budget ran tight. The first warning came months before the knife in my back. Budgets slashed without explanation. Meetings that once had my name on them suddenly filled with fresh graduates in sharp suits. My projects reassigned. My access quietly restricted. Then the audit of my department, not for performance, but for cost. By the time the termination came, the knife was already halfway in. The meeting lasted 7 minutes. Her HR man read the lines like a script. Valerie wouldn't even look me in the eye. "You've done incredible work," she said, "but we need to think about sustainability." She slid the papers across the table with manicured nails. Nothing personal. I nodded. I packed my desk in silence. I shook the hands of the juniors I'd mentored, the ones still too naive to realize what this moment meant, and I walked out without looking back. But leaving isn't the same as letting go. The switch flipped inside me that day. She thought she'd strip me of power when she stripped me of my title. The truth? She handed me a weapon. 2 decades had given me more than a salary. I knew every circuit, every flaw, every unspoken weakness in the empire she claimed as hers. Unlike Valerie, I understood not just how the pieces fit together, but how to pull them apart. Step 1, the quiet gathering. I reached out to the others she had discarded before me. Engineers, managers, analysts, all cut in the name of efficiency. They remembered. They owed her nothing. Many had landed in rival firms, stronger positions. I didn't need to beg. I just asked questions. Who was hiring? Who needed a fully functional engineering unit, ready to deliver high-value projects? The answer came within weeks. A competitor on the rise, moving aggressively into our market. Their CEO had seen me speak at conferences. He remembered my name. He asked if I could bring talent. I said yes. I could bring talent, and I could bring clients. Step 2, the hollowing. Valerie had replaced senior staff with bright-eyed kids who barely understood the systems they were handed. Systems I had designed. Processes I had documented. Processes I had also, quietly, updated on my personal drives. When I walked out, I carried the most recent versions with me. What she kept was 6 months obsolete. Without my updates, the machine would start to stutter. Deadlines would slip. Bugs would creep. Step 3, the migration. For years, I had been the face of every technical pitch. Clients trusted me, not her. I scheduled lunches, not sabotage. I didn't have to smear her. I only had to listen. Listen as they complained about delays, about junior reps fumbling calls, about promises unkept. I nodded. I sympathized. And then I mentioned gently that my new team could take them on immediately. Smooth contracts, no risk. One by one, they crossed over. Quietly. Clean. The first Friday call came at 9:12 a.m. My phone lit up with her name. By then, 3 major accounts had already switched. 2 engineers had resigned, both now in my new office. A 4th client was reviewing terms. I let the call go to voicemail. By noon, I had 9 missed calls. 4 texts. We need to talk. I think we can work something out. Call me. Urgent. I didn't respond. Monday morning, I finally picked up. Her voice was sharp, brittle. You're poaching my clients. No, I said. Your clients are choosing competence over incompetence. You think you can just... I don't think. I cut her off. I know. You fired the one person who kept your empire standing. You made it personal when you made me disposable. She scrambled for a deal, some consultancy arrangement, some way to pull me back in. I laughed. You can't afford me, I said, and hung up. Then came a collapse. Deadlines missed. Projects derailed. Public complaints piling. Staff turnover accelerating. The juniors weren't bad kids. They just had no guidance. They were drowning. Valerie, ever the showman, tried to plug the holes herself. The market saw through it. By the end of the quarter, her empire had bled nearly 40% of its revenue base. And I didn't have to lift a finger beyond those first calls. The machine dismantled itself, exactly the way I knew it would. Some think revenge is about rage, about fire, about blood. They're wrong. Rage burns too quickly. Revenge is patience. Revenge is engineering. And I am an engineer.